tell you, I get no respect. You should hear what I hear in my ear. They just said, stand by for weather stuff. Well, here it is. Partly cloudy skies. You know, I want to mention this because these clouds are going to help start your Wednesday on a warmer note. As if we already had plenty of heat at the surface today. Current temperatures mid-80s between Grand Junction and Delta, low 80s at Montrose and Rifle. Now take a look at the expected high temperatures for the day. This is what we've struck so far. Now we may eke in another degree or two, but 82 at Montrose, 87 at Grand Junction. These are only 1 or 2 degrees warmer than we should be for early June this time of the year. Now we're breezing around 10 to 15 mile per hour wind speeds. As far as top wind gusts go, we've not exceeded the 30 mile per hour zone between Grand Junction, Delta, and Montrose. Generally, we do along the I-70 corridor for Rifle and Glenwood Springs. But we don't have storm-associated wind gusts like we did yesterday afternoon. Remember, we had the same pattern yesterday. Storms in the mountains. Today, they're really isolated along the Continental Divide. And of course, we have the Eastern Plains, very active weather, storm chasing occurring there this afternoon. But as far as our local mountains, central and southern and western, there's not much to speak of. Now, yesterday for Delta County, I mentioned Hotchkiss and Paonia. They got 1/10 of an inch worth of rain. I also suggested Cedar Edge, and they got about a nickel's worth. So, and those areas, along with Montrose, also got stronger wind gusts this time and then around the 7 and 8 o'clock hour last night. That is not the case today. We're just dealing with dry conditions, partly cloudy sky. These clouds and the moisture left over from that wave of energy passing through the state today. That's why all the storms are along the divide and east of. So our forecast for the evening, while we'd like to see some clearing, we're going to keep partly cloudy skies. Now, generally speaking, you're saying, whoa, Russ, high pressure system. That's sunny weather. Technically, but this ridge of high pressure gets dirtied up because all that moisture is trapped at the surface, and we use the heat and we use the mountains as a lifting mechanism to get those storms going. So mountains will pop just about every afternoon, and more specifically, they're really going to jump up in storm coverage this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So Montrose, Palisade, these areas closer to the elevated sites, the mountains, the mesas, the plateaus, they're likely going to get some form of gusty wind, maybe even some lightning and a drop of rain or two. But under this ridge of high pressure that is dirty because of the moisture and the cloud coverage, we will see and experience partly cloudy afternoons just about each and every day. We continue, though, with dry conditions for the lower elevations. We have rain deficits that have exceeded an inch, inch and a half, inch and 3/4 in some instances. Not an ideal situation to be in. Storms are going to be relegated to the mountain zones. That'll continue through the end of the week. This weekend, if we could get this ridge of high pressure to nudge to the east, courtesy of an approaching low pressure system, then we might have a chance for a little bit more widespread shower coverage outside of the mountain zones. But as it stands now, that may not come to fruition until the start of next week. But just like this past weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I think we can expect the exact same type of weather. Very warm and dark towards the end of the day with storms that don't produce much. So let's talk about Wednesday morning. Near 60 degrees for Grand Junction, near 50 degrees for many other locations. Those will be our low temperatures for Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, more heat. These are not record temperatures. For Grand Junction, we have records later this week, Thursday and Friday, records of 96 and 98. So both Thursday and Friday, we have an opportunity to knock on the door of a tie, but those are hot temperatures. And we continue the weekend with more hot temperatures, but added cloud coverage. And we increase the winds from those mountain storms. Montrose, the heat I'm talking about for us, mid-80s tomorrow, upper 80s, near 90s through the end of this work week and into the start of the weekend. Be mindful of those mountain storms. They will get on the move later this week and throughout the upcoming weekend.